It's the kind of warning folks around here have sort of gotten used to, not just people who live near rivers and streams, but those who just want to drive. The key to remember is it only takes about 6 inches of water to take over your car, about a foot of water to take it away. And even larger vehicles like SUVs and trucks, they can be taken away too by 2 feet of moving water.
Crystal?
Yeah, guys, they played a very big role in what we saw happen overnight.
Yes.
In fact, let's take a look at some video that was shot early this morning. You might have seen it if you were watching our morning show. And you saw that smoke kind of hugging right along the Schuylkill and then spreading into Center City. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. Smoke likes to hide, just like fog, in areas like valleys or along a riverbed. But there's some science that's pretty interesting as well when it comes to why did it spread out across our city. Yesterday, we saw a very different scene when the smoke was blowing. Let's break that down by bringing in a little model of this fire right into our studio here. So there's our tire fire. You can see this overlaid on a map of our region. Now, what happened was that fire was burning in southwest Philly, and we started with that black smoke as this fire began. But the winds, they were coming out of the west, shifting to the southwest at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So once those winds factored in, it actually started to lift that smoke and drag it right overhead, right through parts of South Philly and all the way downwind into New Jersey. This smoke continued to push forward. But as that smoke continued to push forward, the night fell and the winds weakened. As the winds weakened, those calm reports couldn't help guide the smoke anymore. On top of that, we also had something called a temperature inversion, where there's warmer air up above the sky, and that warmer air literally acts like a lid. And this is the result. We had that haze right on into yesterday, or rather this morning. We had those hazy conditions as that smoke lingered. Now, the good news was early this morning, a cold front started to wipe through. That cold front started to really dissipate the smoke, and we now are much better off than we were only about 12 hours ago. We do actually have another cold front to talk about. This one is going to be bringing us more rain in the forecast. We'll get to the details and what you can expect coming up in just a few minutes.
Summer-like heat will have people searching for relief along the shore this weekend, but there's a dangerous combination you need to know about. It's something that's kept first responders and Good Samaritans busy over the past week. You can see them here rescuing kids in Atlantic City. You see, right now, there are no lifeguards on duty. They won't be back on the beach for another week. As NBC 10 Jersey Shore Bureau reporter Ted Greenberg explains, no guards and high risk of rip currents means you need to be extra careful when it comes to cooling off.
Our NBC 10 First Alert weather team is projecting a beautiful forecast. And what naturally do you want to do? Head outside, but you may be feeling a little bit off this weekend, and there's a good reason why. We're talking about pollen levels, and that's been on the climb all month long, but really over the weekend, we're going to start to peak things out. Not so much on Saturday. Saturday, it's still on the climb, medium to high levels. That's thanks to Friday's rain. That helped flush a little bit out of the atmosphere. However, on Sunday, we're going full steam ahead. High levels of pollen. You see our cherry blossom tree looks beautiful, but that's swaying in the wind, spreading its pollen along with some other trees out there. And we're talking about high levels continuing right into next week. You see that bar right about as high as it gets. We are looking at the highest pollen levels, at least with trees, that we get for the entire season over the next few days, with Monday and Tuesday being those worst days. So what is the driver behind this? Obviously, the warmer weather helps, but the other factor you see, the wind, and that will be swaying here over the next couple of days, and that helps spread that pollen throughout the air. So over the weekend, we'll be looking at wind gusts between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Obviously, highest in the afternoon hours when that will be spreading the pollen. Monday and Tuesday, we step it up just a notch higher, 25 mile per hour wind gusts, and by Wednesday, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. This is a very problematic day, but we're talking about some rain by Wednesday afternoon that may help things out just a little bit. So what can you do over the weekend to help yourself out? Well, first off, take your allergy meds. That is definitely a big helper here. But if you can't do that, stay inside on the windy days. So especially Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Yes, I know it's hard, but you need to shut your windows. That pollen comes right in through your windows and sticks to areas like your bed, your sheets, and everything around it. Now, the best option if you're gonna be outside, you'll wanna take a shower, wash off your clothes after you've been outdoors. That pollen collects quickly. And if you're working out, choose the afternoon over the morning hours. We're talking about those outdoor morning workouts. Yeah, that has the most pollen as those plants and those flowers open up. In the afternoon, it's just a touch better. Good luck over the weekend into next week. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that pollen forecast and our next big break.
NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Crystal Cly is here with the details.
Yeah, and we are seeing it peaking as we go through tonight and into tomorrow morning. So I thought we would kind of talk a little bit about what you can expect this evening across the area. Now, there's a few factors that play into what is typically one of the best meteor showers of the year. And the big factor is going to be, the moon and how bright it is. Unfortunately, we are not looking at just getting ready for the nice and dark sky that we get if we have a sliver of moon. Instead, we're going to have a moon that it's almost 80% full. So the result is that from midnight to 2 a.m., which was generally when we'll see our best viewing, it's going to be a little too bright out there. We're going to need for the moon to set. Once the moon sets, that's when we're going to have that really great visibility, and it'll be the easiest to see, up to about 60 meteors per hour. Now, if you are going to try to get out and see the shower this evening, here's a few tips for you. First off, like I said, the best viewing is not going to be this evening. It's going to be as we get into early tomorrow morning. That's when our moon has set. The moon set coming at 2:53 overnight. The best viewing will last until about 6:45 when we see our dawn, and then we will lose the visibility. Over the next few days, there'll still be the potential for you to see some meteors, but tonight is the peaking night. The best way to view is going to be away from light pollution. So if you're somewhere right where the city center is, it's going to probably be too bright for you to have that best easy eye visibility. But if you can get somewhere dark, if you get somewhere that's a little more rural, that's really going to be where you have the best view. And give your eyes at least 30 minutes to adjust so you can really see all of the meteor shower in its glory. It should be very nice out there, again, in those overnight early AM hours. We'll talk more about your forecast locally coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Yeah, and the parking, it is a bit more complicated. Flyers fans must show their Flyers tickets to get into the parking lots at the Wells Fargo Center. Eagles fans can park in lots M, N, P, and Q through X starting at noon. Lot K opens at 2:30. So it will be crowded. It will be busy. The advice from everyone here is to just get to the South Philly stadiums early. Live in South Philadelphia, I'm Matt DeLucia, NBC 10 News.
Hoping everyone just took a screenshot of your graphic there, Matt, so they can remember those instructions. Great information. We appreciate it.
Well, with temperatures in the 60s, spring is in full bloom this week. Have you seen the cherry blossoms? Man, they're fantastic. NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Crystal Cly is here to tell us when we should grab our camera and our picnic basket.
Yeah, Tracy, absolutely beautiful. If you've stepped outside recently, you will notice that conditions are suddenly starting to look a little more like this outside. I went outside yesterday, and I mean, it was just gorgeous along parts of Kelly Drive now that the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. And in fact, I spoke with the head gardener at Chafuso, and they told us that indeed they are seeing their peak bloom as we speak. So the next question is, how long do we have to snap the pictures, to post, to Insta, all that stuff? Well, generally, you've got 1 to 2 weeks is what the head gardener tells me. It all depends on the weather. So let's look over the big factors when it comes to our cherry blossoms. Those big factors, well, they include things like high heat. That can hurt the blossom. We're not worried about that over the next few days. High humidity as well, not something we're worried about. It's going to be low for the next few days. Heavy rain can cause issues, knocking the blossoms off the trees, as can strong winds. Again, not going to be issues over this week. The only thing we're concerned about towards next weekend, when some of you may want to get out, is prolonged rain. In fact, take a look at the forecast here. We are dry for our Tuesday. We've got isolated showers in the morning on Wednesday. Isolated light rain, the gardener says, not enough to really cause problems. We're dry on Thursday. Great day to get out and look at the blossoms. And even Friday looks pretty good with only a few isolated showers. But when we come to the weekend, you might be risking it as we start to look at more on and off rain in the forecast. I'm going to walk through that with our future model, get to the details on when the steadiest rain hits this weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.